Hello and welcome back to 30 Days of Dopamine. Thank you for coming back and joining us. Today we're talking with the lovely owner of Wool and Honey Yarn Shop in Cedar, Michigan. And she also has another fun adventure that she has founded and supported called Be Well. So we're going to talk to her about that. Hi Liz, thank you for joining us. I'm so glad you could be here today.
Thanks for asking. I'm so excited to share this.
Yes, I know. And I've been on your newsletter list for years, and I actually contacted you years ago about something you had about the Pomodoro method. And so that was a long, long time ago. So yes, I've regularly followed you and all your pretty yarns and all the other stuff. But then you started something called Be Well.
Be
So what is
well.
that?
Yeah, so kind of going back of why so Wool and Honey, we
Mm,
love talking about a lot about the social emotional impact. Sometimes we'll tease about being the bartender. Just people that, you just talk with your customers and you'll just divulge anything and everything.
yes.
And I feel like, right, with other makers, you just have this special connection that you can just tell your whole life story and know that they are just a close friend of yours
Right.
instantly.
Right.
And so it was always something talking about our feelings, how we're doing and connecting with our people and gathering. And then COVID hit and things got really intense and it was like, yeah, we're doing the right thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so shortly after COVID world, my family went into my daughter had a cancer journey.
Mm,
So that was intense and a lot of stuff. And for a while, I wasn't sure I'd be able to get back into creating or
yeah.
retail world. It seemed I couldn't get my head back out of that, wanting to take care of people.
Right.
And
It's
then I
hard.
finally had like this light switch, and it was like, oh, that is what we do. This industry of making is
Mm-hmm.
taking care of people.
I
How
agree.
many times are we mostly making things for other people? You
Yeah.
know, and we had all these wonderful connections. So up here in Leelanau, um, it's rural. It's a lovely area, but we don't have a lot of support. So downstate, Grand Rapids, Detroit, that's where the hospital was, radiation, and they have just amazing programs for
Mm-hmm.
cancer communities
Right.
and for parents and adults, and just coming together to do things felt so amazing. And
Yes.
so I really saw this space and I was like, wouldn't it be amazing that it doesn't need to be a cancer crisis? We all just need to be in a community, hanging out with each other, taking
I
care of
agree.
each other, thinking about our social emotional health, having a space that I love family places with the kids, the bouncy houses and all that jazz,
Mm-hmm.
but it is overwhelming to the system. So
It is
what
a
about
lot.
like,
Yeah.
oh man, what
I,
about a place that like we have kind of meditation or soothing music? We have a comfy spot for
mhm.
parents and grandparents to be able to sit, or a place just for adults to come and sit and be cozy,
Yeah.
talk about our feelings, have a place that's like, this is your place. You want to come in with your shoes
Right.
on? Come in with your shoes on. You want to have food in here? Have food. Like, it's all replaceable. Let's just
Hmm.
be who we are and enjoy it. There's no rules. At home, we like, I don't want to get the glitter out at home.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't want to get the paint out at home.
Yes.
But here,
Yes.
let it get on the floor. Let's do all the things. And so I started thinking about all the connections I wanted to do with kids kicking cancer, or
Yeah.
there's a great bereavement group, Michael's Place that we've connected with in town, single moms, wanting to, how do we make this more of a satellite and resources here for our people? In
Right.
Leelanau County, we do a great job of taking care of our tourists. I mean, that's what we are, a tourist place. So that's our whole mind frame is these are the months to make money. This is who we serve. These are the hours that we do. This is what's interesting to them.
Hmm.
And it seems like so many days, like, I want to eat somewhere on a Monday. I like, I want coffee today.
Yeah.
And so what are some th ways we can take care of our people who do live here and encourage our community?
Especially as, yeah, I didn't even think about that because I always and I get the thing about how do you say it? Leelanau yarn?
Leelanau.
Leelanau yarn. Yeah, so I always get your stuff about the special yarn, but I didn't even think about that part of it, being touristy. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, because I live in a bigger city, but we go to a place that is touristy like that, where there's very definitely an on season and an off season.
Yeah.
And so, some of the things that are like, oh, yeah, I can go to the coffee shop. It's not even open today, but having that sort of community space is
Yeah.
like, that's difficult. It's like there's so many things where or places that have stopped being those third spaces, those places
Yeah.
to meet people and just be.
Yeah. And I think it's hard, definitely. It's against the norm. It's not something that's easy, that has revenue just flowing in.
Yeah.
But the impact that we've seen and this is kind of what I was hoping for, but we've got some great places in Travers and in Leelanau County, one that I absolutely love, and this is kind of partly modeled after. They have great classes and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, but rightly so, it's expensive,
It is.
paying for the supplies, paying for the instructor that they can actually do that, that's amazing. But it does cap, a specific crowd that can not afford to do it. And
Yeah.
so my goal with Be Well has been, how can we do that? It's a lofty goal. How can we do that and have it free? How can we do it that we can have donor support, grants, and
Yeah.
some sales here with some items that again fall in line with self-soothing, meditative
Yes.
painting, all those things that can help support this community space, that anyone can access it. It doesn't matter. You'll enjoy this space whether you could pay for a membership or not.
Hmm.
So we've tried to keep everything as free by donation only. And yeah, we're figuring it out. And
And, well, and you've had it like you've been figuring it out because this isn't a new thing. You've
right.
been doing it for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a year and a half. This November will come up on 2 years. So
Yay.
yay,
That's
I
exciting.
know.
So
Yeah.
what is the space like? Because like obviously you have a yarn shop and
Yeah.
this is hiding my yarn. But
Mm.
like yarn takes up space.
Yeah.
So like obviously this isn't in your shop. This is a very much a dedicated community space. So
Yeah.
how much space do you have? How did you find this? Like,
Well, yeah, this was a basement unit. Actually, I'd been eyeing it for a long time because it's right across the street from Will and Honey.
oh,
And
okay.
so this basement unit between the alley and next door IGA and go through, and I would always be like, who's using that? And then when I found out it was used for storage or it was used for a couple other things, and I was like, man, I could use it for
Hmm.
storage, right? The
Hmm.
shop is full. Got stuff at my house. We could use storage.
Yeah.
So at the most, right, the most time that it was not great in my life, um, the landlord had been in my shop and she was like, hey, if you know anybody, we've got that basement unit. And I was like, you want to show me right now? Like me? And so I was just, again, still thinking that. And I walked in and she's like, well, we had originally set it up for retail. And I was like, oh, wheels turning. And
Mm.
I got really excited. And this was coming off a time where I was severely depressed, um, coming off of Cecily's treatment, other deep family issues and ugh, legal issues. And so I was in a dark place.
It's a
And
lot.
it was a lot. And then all of a sudden, I just had this joy coming over me, an excitement. And so, like a drug, I was like, more of that, please.
Yes,
So
that's why this
mhm,
is called 30 Days of Dopamine, because the whole thing is about, working and doing stuff with your hands and the mind-body connection. And if you work with your hands, it makes all the happy drugs in your brain.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so yes, yes,
And I heard a great quote too recently that was good about uh wonderful Mr. McConaughey,
mhm,
talking about like there's no selfless act. Like the
mhm,
idea that like let's not shame that word. Like I do this because it feels so good.
right.
So that that makes me feel good, so I do
Yeah.
it.
And
And that's not bad, but it is
no,
that release of those amazing hormones that was like, this is the right thing. And how beautiful that our minds and body are built that way, that when we do things to take care of our society, it feels good.
yes. Well,
Yeah,
and you work with like the space is used for both kids and adults because that's
yeah,
the other thing too is that sometimes you're like, "Oh, I find a program and it's not for me," or I find a program and it's not for me. And but everybody needs that sort of healing and process. You don't get too big to not
right.
be sad or worried or any of the other stuff in between.
Yeah, and trying to normalize that. Like, so we'll go, I did a couple little fairs that I would bring it out, art fairs, so that
Hmm.
people could be like, hey, we have an art creative space. So I had a sensory bucket of rice and all sorts of fun things in
Oh,
there. And of
cool.
course, the kids love it.
Yeah.
Um, and which I also love to see kids that were on the spectrum were like, they were going to hang out by that sensory bucket all day. And it was like
Yeah.
perfect. On a day that you're probably really overwhelmed,
Yeah.
isn't it great? There's a bucket for you to like get your feelings out.
Uh-huh.
But the thing that was amazing to me is every adult that walked by put their hands in it and was like, oh, it feels so good. Right?
Hmm.
Like this idea that like, oh, sensory items are for children or for some
Right.
spectrum. And it's like, no, no, we all do that. And that's why I'm wearing my ring from
You had
um
fidget ring?
Fantasy Fear, and
Hmm.
it's a therapeutic. It's it moves. So you're
Oh.
constantly, right? We're fidgeting with our stuff all the
Oh yeah.
time. But like we self-soothe in ways. Either we're self-soothing with our needles, our knitting,
Hmm.
our, things we intake, whichever way. And so this kind of just normalizing everybody needs something to soothe. So
Yeah.
soothe with art, soothe with hanging out with um littles or reading a book or just all those reminders. Yeah.
And so much of the community stuff too, especially when you're in the nitty-gritty of stuff that you don't want to be in, whether that's grief, medical crises, all of this other stuff. There's it feels very much like I am in this space with no one else.
Yeah.
So having, your classes, your community aspect of not only there's a place to go, but there's more people in the space.
Yeah.
I'm not by myself.
Exactly. And one thing that I see, like, I know some men in my life that work tech jobs from home, right? They
Hmm.
went home during COVID and then they're like, let's all stay home.
Right.
And I gotta say, they're not built for that. We're not as humans, but definitely I feel like
No.
us, a lot of us ladies or moms can be really good about being like, I need out of this house. And whether we pack up kids or whatever, we will walk and leave. And I
Hmm.
don't feel their body tells them to do that. And
Well,
so
yeah.
watching this depression happen, um, but where was I going with some of that? Yeah.
The men folk with the and
Yeah.
anyone, because I work from home, was like
Yeah.
I don't ever, I always joke I'm pasty because no one ever lets me out of my basement. So like there's just those opportunities to do things and be like, it becomes, mom stuff that's lower priority, and like it's
Yeah.
just, if you're tech at home, then it just changes. Your
Yeah.
sort of interface with the world just changes
Yeah.
too. So
Well, yeah, so that's what I was thinking is that my connection with the world, which I'm so grateful for, especially when things got dark with COVID, is just like we went Zoom and we went virtual. And then we're
right.
now connecting with people all over. We're connecting with stories that are happening all over. And I'm
Hmm.
grateful to have customers that are all over the state and all over the world that remind me of what's going on outside of my home, outside of
Yes.
Leelanau, and things like that. And even when I am open enough to talk about my crisis, or when anyone's like, "How you doing?" You're going to get a real answer from Liz. I'm going to be like, like I just don't, I can't do the Midwestern greeting anymore.
Yeah. I
So
yes.
yeah,
As
yeah, you
someone
know.
in Nebraska, I'm like, yep, yep, yep. It's like,
Mhm,
what is the
mhm.
wavelength of the person we're talking to right now? Am I doing the standard thing, or are we actually talking?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so what were we talking about? I've already speaking of
The
wavelengths.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Um, so that was one thing that like when I first when we were at the hospital with Cecily
Mm,
and that trauma hit and that trigger hit or the shock of it all hit.
right.
And one moment a child life specialist came in, which by the way, a gal that works here at Be Well is this child life specialist. The amount of connections to the amazing, beautiful
That's
people who
so
have been
good.
drawn to, like
Yes.
every single one that works here has been a beautiful connection, being like, you were meant to be here. We were meant to do this together.
That's
So,
so good.
anywho, a little plug to that. But so, my
Yes.
first child life specialist I ever met, he had said, you are going to be overwhelmed with the amount of support coming your way. And
Okay.
I encourage you to say yes. And so, we're so used to being like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I got it.
Uh-huh.
But please say yes.
Hmm.
It doesn't only help you, it helps them and it fills their bucket. And if they hear yes is enough, they will
Hmm.
keep asking and they will keep. And so I thought like, as I started to do this a little bit,
Hmm.
and when people are like, can you bring a meal? Yes, please do bring a meal.
Right.
Um, do you need help gift wrapping tonight in the middle of the night? No, I'm fine. I'm coming over anyway. All right, yes, you should.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
those are some of the most special moments, some of the most special people in my life. And you talk about things like how many more people I've known found out who have had brain tumors or
Yeah.
childhood cancer or all of these things we don't talk about enough to be like, oh, we need to talk more. We need to
Yeah.
normalize more all of these things that we hold inside. Um, yeah, so that's kind of been my thing. I know my daughter a little bit is kind of like, Mom, you were talking about me. I don't want you to be talking about me. And I was like, I know,
Yeah. That's hard too.
it's fair. But
That's
it is also all of our process too. Like we all
it.
went through it. We all have a
Yes,
piece of
yes,
that.
because and yes, I come from a medically complex family, so I get
Mm,
that part of it too.
yeah,
It's a difficult balance to strike, but
it is.
can we see just because I know that you showed him earlier?
I'm gonna bring him up close and personal.
Okay, so she said when we were doing our little prep thing, talking about all the tech stuff, she showed me a very important guest that is a resident of Be Well, and so here he is.
There's Mr. Honey.
Mr. Honey, oh, so
Honey,
helpful.
he looks shy. He's kind of like, what are we doing, Mom?
He's like, I was
But
napping.
yeah, exactly. But here, honey, say hi. He is our little man that he loves, again, one of those beautiful connections.
Hmm.
He was a rescue
Uh-huh.
at Wool and Honey. Um,
Oh.
so like 2 weeks after I opened here,
Hmm.
there was a big winter storm and all icy and everything. I don't know what I've clicked. You want to sit with me? Um, and me and a girlfriend were talking about our rescue cats. And we
Hmm.
probably spent like an hour talking about cats. And then we're like, all right, we better go do work. So we went back into the office and we heard this meow. And we're like, did we did we manifest a
You
cat?
did. The cat
Yes, we
distribution
did.
system heard you.
We did. And I had
Hmm.
never heard of that before. And then I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense with both of my little rescues. Now I have humidity hair all over me. So he came in, I instantly picked him up and she just got a rescue cat that night and the conversation was absolutely no more. 5 cats enough. And
Oh
so
yeah.
I'm like, I'm holding a cat. What am I doing? I can't bring it home. I have 3 at home. What will I
Right.
do?
Right.
And I was like, oh, a shop cat. And some of my 2 favorite people came in afterwards. I was like, guys, look what's in the bathroom. We have a cat. And they're like, oh, you have a shop cat now. And so I was thinking
Hmm.
that, but one of my gals was too allergic. And then I was like, he just loved all over me. He loved people. He just wanted to
Yeah.
be lick. And so I was like, this is going to be his home. And he
Perfect.
has absolutely loved it. What we found out 3 months later, um, the original owners. So I had sent out
Oh,
flyers like, are you
okay.
missing this lovey? And
Right.
apparently I didn't go to the right side of town.
Oh.
And but again, all kismet and meant to be.
Hmm.
Um, so she had told me um, that he had a brother and they were to be barn cats. And I
Okay.
tease that the story is he's like, I need people. Forget this. I'm bored. Where are the people? Let me go downtown.
Hmm.
And so it's been perfect. He gets to hang out what he loves to do. He loves being outside. We're right at the intersection of town, so things are a little bit slower, but it is commute.
Okay.
It's a little bit busy, but he does a great job of staying in the trees and stuff. But there's an ice cream shop right next door.
Oh,
And so he sees this huge line and he's like, la, da, da. So he is the town little celebrity. He
he's your
goes and
little
hangs out
Walmart
with all the
greeter.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so way cuter because he'll roll on his back with his belly up, just right in the
Oh.
middle of the line, being like, hello. And people are
And it's
taking
not a
pictures
trap.
with
He's
him.
not going to get you with his murder mittens.
Right. No, he
Oh,
loves it. It's so sweet. And he'll just like get up on the art table while kids are doing art.
oh,
He'll,
good.
yeah. He's also a known scavenger. So when we have parties here, we have to be like, oh, that's right, the cat. He's just like, he will find any
Uh-huh.
possible way. But he's also one thing that's beautiful too. So he's got a little neurological thing with
Oh.
his back end.
Hmm.
Um, and so it was kind of another message of like, we all have a purpose, even when we have
Yep.
disabilities, even when we have things. He has
Yep.
served such a wonderful purpose of healing people when they come in. They just
That's
want
so
to
sweet.
cuddle and hold him. Kids that have never seen a cat before
Hmm.
get
Hmm.
to learn about it. So it's been really cool. Yeah.
That's so you've got a child life specialist
Mhm.
at Be Well, you've got a
Yep.
therapy cat, you've got
Hmm.
art therapy, you've got
Yep.
community groups, you've got sensory things,
Yep.
and all of this in a year and a half, and you have a yarn shop at the same time.
Yeah, my body is physically breaking. Um,
Oh no.
so I'm
No.
trying to figure out all of those things.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, so it's more of like, this is what I want to do. And then most people, rightly so,
Mm-hmm.
were like, Liz, what are you thinking? And I got a little worried at first. I was like, oh, I'm manic. I'm bipolar, aren't I? This is the time that
Mm-hmm.
it came
Mm-hmm.
on. This
Mm-hmm.
is happening.
Yeah.
Um, but then talking to my therapist, thank God I had a therapist before cancer.
Yes.
So a few years in, she's like, that's not how this works, right? That's not how it works. So what I found out was I was what I believe now, as I self-diagnosed myself.
Of course.
Um,
I
uh,
Dr. Google, you got to do it now and then. It's fine.
so I was depressed for so long, and it was
Yeah.
so intense that when something like this felt exciting, felt joy,
Mm-hmm.
it alarmed me. It was so foreign for so long
Yeah.
that it actually was like, oh, I've broken psychologically. I
Yeah.
am now manic. Oh no. And I had one great person tell me, chiropractor, great team in Suttons Bay. And she was telling me, so what if you are bipolar? Use it. And I was like, yeah, right. What am I? There I go. I'm putting my own stigma on it instead of
Yeah.
being like, this is a thing that people do and people live with, and
Right.
it's as normal as depression and brushing your teeth. Like
Right.
it happens. It's part of our human experience. And but it was more of just, that wasn't what where I was going. That was
No.
my anxiety and my fears taken away. And so during all of these hard moments, I've definitely seen the universe, these God moments being like, this is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
This is following the experiences that you've gone through, the caring that you want to pour into your community. They all cared for me and my
Hmm.
family and did so much. This is a chance for me to give back. And in the same, and recently I'm like, hey, I'm having a hard time again. Please pour back into me. Like,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
drowning. And so just this give and take that we're constantly just like being open to take care of each other and not hide it and hold it in. So,
Well, and the fact that all of this came from that place, I was like, because one of the things that I've read, if all of this, we've done 30 Days of Dopamine for 3 years. So I've read a lot of different things. So one of the things that talked about for neurology and mental health and other stuff is the looking for the glimmers. And so
mm,
it's those, this is the little part that gives me butterflies, makes me happy. And so you didn't have a glimmer, you had like a full on like rainbow all
right.
at once. So
Yeah.
that's interesting too. But also coming from that place of I've been in the depths of it and having people come in and say, well, you ever have those spaces where sorry, I have a point. You ever have those spaces where you come in with a problem and they're like, oh no, you shouldn't feel that way, or oh no, that's not normal, or that sort of things. And even it happens in crafting too, is like, yeah, I don't know why that's happening to you. That's weird. Like,
Right. Yeah. And one thing that have been so grateful for, and this gets yeah, deep, but my interpretation when it first happened, when we're in the shock of Cess, my 7-year-old has a brain tumor,
mm,
and we fly down and I'm telling people, I'm some people, a couple of my close people, and I'm like, you know what? If this is the 7 years that she had, man, what an amazing 7 years she had. And my husband was like, what the flip is wrong with you?
yeah.
How dare you? Like, don't go there. But just
Yeah.
this idea that I had learned this lesson. We lost his dad suddenly, unexpectedly from an allergic reaction while I was pregnant
Oh.
with our second, who we almost lost. It was just like dark, dark, dark.
Mm,
And I remember being there and people saying, he was 64, just about to get to his retirement. He's too young. It's not fair. And I remember
yeah.
being like, wait, so many people die young, and just having this kind of thought of like, why do we feel we all get 95 years, and if we
Mhm.
don't get it, that's we've been jolted. And so this idea that every life has a certain amount of days and
Yeah,
it's not good or bad. Don't put it on the fair spectrum because that'll just make you bitter.
yeah,
Um, it just is.
it
I
just
am
is.
great. Yeah, it just is.
I
And
say that a lot with stuff. Is like it's not. It's like it just is, and what are you gonna do with it? Like,
exactly.
yeah,
I've gone to two funerals for some littles. That's one thing, connecting with people
yeah,
in support groups.
hmm,
Oh, realizing that, oh, I'm going to share a lot of more trauma. We're going to share trauma now
yeah,
instead of being like there's one trauma. It's oh, and and watching, they were both amazing how the parents went through this and the community went through this. But again, I'm really lucky. I still have both my littles. We had a moment that one, I remember telling my husband on a Father's Day, I said, we were almost parents without two children, without both of our kids, with
hmm,
zero children right now. So wow, we're so lucky to have that. And at the same time, it's part of the human experience. You go live
it
in
is.
a children's hospital for a while and you'll be like, oh, this is normal. This is normal. This is part of it. And so what I was grateful for is I didn't have this bitterness to the world. I wasn't like, why does God hate me and all this stuff. It was very much this, I was so grateful for this silver lining, what I call like, okay, a yin yang, like that's my interpretation of it. Is
Hmm.
like during the darkness, there is so much beauty. And
Yes,
so we were depressed and scared, and then we saw this community that we didn't even realize liked us pour
yeah,
out of nowhere.
right,
And then it's just all of these things. I'm going through this hard, hellish time, and outcomes be well.
yeah,
And just all of these, you just starting to notice like that's what life is. It's constantly, whether there's something great going on, there's something sad and dark happening. When there's something sad and dark, there's something beautiful. The connection, like that's how the cycle and ebb and flow of life goes. And that's been a beautiful takeaway that I'm so grateful that I've been able to cherish in the moment of having the times of having the both ands of just being
yes,
like, I'm depressed and this is really amazing.
yeah.
Um, I
And
love who I
being that,
am.
yeah, and being that resource for other people, because sometimes
Yeah,
when you're in it, you don't see the other stuff.
right.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, we've drawn to each other. Some of these people that are like, I need this. Another
Hmm.
gal that works here now, when I was having some really hard times and the doors were closed here more often because I couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah,
And she was kind of like, I'd love to work here because my kid really needs it.
yeah,
Um, and we talk about it. It's on the schedule. It's very important for where he is that he has places, and this is one of his favorite places. And so she
hmm,
starts working with us, and I was like, "You are exactly the person I need here. You understand parents with neurodivergent children.
yep,
You understand all of these things, and I need, I'm constantly trying to pull in all these resources. Of
right.
another one was a preschool teacher. Yeah, it's just wonderful.
Like okay, so you've got a whole bunch. Do you have ideas or plans for more?
I
What would you
do.
like? Okay, if you had a bajillion dollars, all the time
Yes.
and money in the world, what would you want to do next with Be Well?
I know. So I say it's really easy to do, kids, right? Because
Mhm.
you can have scrap pieces of paper like I'm looking at. We have coffee filters, we have paper towel rolls, like,
Mhm.
and that kids are like, this is amazing.
Right.
Parents were kind of like, okay, entice me a little more. So you do
Right.
need a little bit more cash flow.
Hmm.
And so when that happens, and
I love that
we've
you
got
said when. That makes me happy. Okay, yes, when it happens.
when it happens. Um, and we're able to bring in more teachers and things
Mhm.
like that. I want to have a space. I kind of thought the space above, maybe. I'll keep putting that in the
Uh-huh.
atmosphere.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I want to see sewing machines and a cutting table and
Oh,
weaving looms and spinning wheels, things that the community can come in and use. Almost kind of like I want to kind of be like a community library. We don't have around here. I want to be
okay.
able to like have um, a community kitchen. So like
Oh, yeah.
I love and haven't been able to get back into, but I love juicing. I love my celery
Oh,
juice. I
uh-huh.
love my heavy metal detox smoothies, and all these things, but they are for the affluent. It's
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
So what if we had some of these? We have amazing CSAs around. What
Hmm.
if we had CSAs delivering here? We split it, and hey, in the mornings we're kicking out celery juice in this bulk, and we're like, hey, $3 a glass instead of going to a juice bar that's like 11 because that's
Yeah.
all they do is make juice and they have to make that to cover the electric bill and
Right.
rent.
Right.
So what if we can do some of those things that now being healthy and doing some of these things is more affordable
Hmm.
that from our locally ground awesome stuff? What if we have some great local apothecary gals that just make such amazing tinctures and
Yeah.
face products and things. I would love to have that there. Um, so I want to have fabric and have one gal's great. She's a sewer, but she was like, I've always thought it'd be great to have a nook in a thrift store
Hmm.
where it's take something and
Yeah.
let's make it into something new. And so I think that would be fun of like the doctor's in, Janet's in today.
Hmm.
And at one day a week, we're coming and we're putting that together. Where we're making outfits, like we're making our dresses like this and
Yes.
shirts like yours and
Yes.
smocks and skirts and things like that that I want to wear. Um, and fix it's like, okay,
Yeah,
we're
the
gonna have a
mending.
day that we're
There's
gonna
I've
fix
seen
it.
a lot of like upcycling, visible
Yeah.
mending. I've seen stuff like that. Or someone I know, Wildwood Creative in Washington State, she has something where it's like the little craft library. And
Mm,
so it's like a locker where it's like you can leave stuff there and then someone can take things, like the
mhm,
little book
yep.
libraries that you find. But yes.
Yes, I looked. There's this gal, and I reached out to her on Instagram. I'm not even going to attempt to remember her name because it's wrong. It starts with a P. But
Okay.
anyway, she's got all these amazing ones, and she's like, there's like a trail of them. And
Hmm.
then, so what I would love to do out in this space is do that, is have a bunch of community boxes. I was thinking the ones of like the mini art and the
Hmm.
puzzles and
That'd be so fun.
the, yeah, Legos and games and books and, different art projects or crafts that again it could be like something that draws people into this community space that they see all
Yes.
these little boxes, they walk around the trail and be like, oh my gosh, tell me more, I want to be a part of
That's
this
so
community.
cool.
So that's one thing that I think would be fun, but also how do we get the men interested of like, okay, this is
Yeah.
um tinkering and things, and there's not too far from us there's this awesome farm, but the Green Door Folk School, and
Okay.
so talking with them a little bit like how can we tie that in? I love
Hmm.
this location because it's right downtown Cedar.
Yeah.
It's a commute space. We're in the middle of the county, so we kind of get forgotten for shops and things like that.
Yeah.
So you'll see all the great resources and connections all in the outskirts along the lake, but nothing in the middle. So
Gotcha.
it's easy for people to see and learn about us, I think. So, but can I connect with some of the people? Can we have an after school program?
Oh, that'd be
Um,
cool.
right?
That,
So, that they can, they're all the things that like I need
yeah.
that I think of, right?
Right.
So with times I kind of feel like I made this for me. And
Hmm.
where I think I'm making it for the community, it's all the things that I want.
Yes.
I want a soothing place. And so I had one time when I really realized that we had a trunk show with Joe Zielinski and North Bay Fibers over there. And after a
Uh-huh.
nice long weekend, I was just tired and in pain. And I was like, I fed the cat and then came over and I was like, I'm just going to lay right here on this beautiful
Hmm.
bench I made and listen to meditative music. And the cat's right there. And I was like, I sent her a picture. I was like, oh, yeah, that's why I love it so
Hmm.
much. I made this for the things that I like. And I end up hiring a lot of moms that are trying
Yeah.
to figure out what to do with their kids. Like we're attracted to each other. The
It's
people
true.
who need each other need something. And so I think of after school programs. Yep. Because I'm desperately trying to figure that out. And
Yeah.
these would be the things I'd want my kids to be able to do.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. And one of the things too, I wrote this out and I thought these words were really great. So I wanted to finally repeat them.
Do tell.
Okay. So this is our culture, our vision, and our mission.
Okay.
And they kind of sum it up for Be Well here. So our culture, a gentle spaces that build strong connections, rooted in kindness, creativity, and play, space that for healing and resilience, because every person matters.
Hmm.
Our vision is a community where every heart feels safe, supported, and at home, where classes or events costs are never a barrier for belonging. And our mission is a nonprofit community space that promotes social and emotional health for all ages in Leelanau and the greater Grand Traverse area. Yeah,
That's so perfect.
that
Those
sums
are,
us up.
yeah, it sums you up. It gives you all your goals. I think it
Yeah,
gives everything that people need to know
yeah.
walking in the
I like
door.
feel like I have to have it in my wallet because people are like, "What's Be Well?" I'm like, "Ah, it's a place that, like so it's a daycare." No,
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 no, no.
yeah.
That's funny.
So, yeah.
So how can, okay, so you said that this is community funded, am I correct?
Mhm. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So how can people that are watching this and finding out about it, how can they help? How can they find
Yeah.
you, help get involved, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. So we are, you'll find our links on the Wool and Honey website as well. It'll see the Be Curious shop. It'll also talk about Be Well under About Us, but we're also on socials, Be Well Leelanau.
Hmm.
Sorry, that's spelled weird. Leelanau. It's a weird word, but
Gotcha.
Be Well. And you'll see our Raisley site, and it talks all about us, some things on our wish list, but also is a spot where you can donate.
Hmm.
And one of our biggest goals that we're doing right now is trying to help our overhead to be something that comes in all the time. And so
Yeah,
we're looking for folks that can donate $100 a month, and we're looking to get 25. Or if you can do less than that, then we're looking for a few more. So we're going to start collecting that number up top, but that would be something that would get our overhead and for each month and make sure we feel safe that this is going to stay here and then
right.
we can keep doing the rest. Yeah.
That's so good. I'm so glad we were able to work this out. I'm so glad that we
Mhm.
got to talk to you and got to see your space. And I love that the art behind you says you are worth the mess you make. It's so
Right?
perfect.
I love it.
Thank you.
Someone told that to me. That was my daughter's birthday crew was doing.
Oh,
And I was like, I know what we're going to put on this. And yeah, I think it's a reminder that for everybody that walks in here, forget about cleaning up.
no,
You're worth the mess you make.
you are. Yeah,
I
you're
love what you do. I'm so glad we got to talk about this.
thank you. Yes, and so everybody go to woolandhoney.com and
Mhm.
of course find the beautiful yarns because you do beautiful seasonal collections and little clubs and stuff too. But go to Be Well and make sure that you support this wonderful space.
Yep.
And
It's bewellraisley.com. That's where you'll find it.
bewellraisley.com. Yes, I'll make sure to, we will have the links in this video and I'll make sure to have all that there. So thank you, Liz. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
And everyone else, thank you for joining 30 Days of Dopamine. Have a great
Bye.
creative process.